You have just tuned in to Divine Purpose Connection. We are transmitting from the inlets of Topsail Island, uncovering the hidden treasures deep within the spirit. And I am Tabitha Holyfield, seeker of knowledge, your empowerment partner, committed to growth and transformation. You're here at Yoga Divine, and I'm super excited that we have Kayla here with Barbells and Beauties to share some stuff on defining your patterns in your life. So the patterns that we'll be discussing will be weight loss and yo-yo dieting. However, patterns could equate to any kind of pattern that you have in your life. You can use this information and take it with you to figure out what your patterns are. So Kayla is the owner of Barbells and Beauties, which is an online clothing store that specializes in yoga leggings, t-shirts, that sort of thing. If you'd like to check out their products, you can find them on barbellsandbeauties.com. They also have an Instagram, Facebook page you can also check out on there, where a lot of their leggings are displayed, along with their ambassadors that they support their products. So backing up just a little bit, they do have an app that is also good on Android and iPhones. You can download that app and check out all their new products. As a matter of fact, I think they just had a release of a bunch of new products, didn't you, Kayla?
Mm-hmm. 2 nights ago, we released 17 new products on our page.
That's awesome. And they have a lot of really high quality things there. Their ambassador program that they offer, if you're interested in getting involved with that, it's a support system for women that are striving to improve themselves, that work out in the gym, or it could be for yoga or whatever type of physical activity that you have. All there is to do is just a desire to change and to wear great clothes and be with other people that have like-minded thoughts as you. And they just love to support positive body image. It isn't about just being this stick figure, knowing that everybody's body is different and comes in different shapes and sizes. And so by referring your friends and family to their website or to buying their products, you are offered an ambassador code and then can receive discounts on your own. So who doesn't like free clothes? Mm-hmm. Discounts. I'm all about the sale. So Yoga Divine Purpose is our podcast, or Divine Purpose Connection is our podcast. And we have been doing this now for about a month. This is our second podcast. We do have a Facebook page, and then we also have a private group on Facebook called Yoga Divine Purpose. Also on Instagram, you'll find us at Yoga Divine Purpose and then the number 1. The upcoming workshops and podcasts for next month, we'll be discussing astrology. We'll also be talking about the subtle energy body, the chakras, and then law of attraction is our specialty. So today we wanted to talk about yo-yo dieting. I know that for me, my struggle with food began when I was at a super young age. I was 8 years old when I discovered that it was something that felt good to eat a lot of carbohydrates. I grew up in the 80s, so potato chips and rice and pastas. If I realized that if I ate a lot of those things, I'd get a little tiny rush, and it comforted me from whatever it was that I might have been experiencing at the time. I also know that a lot of women start to gain weight when they're pregnant. And then after they have their babies, they're not able to lose that weight. So when was your first experience of not being able to lose weight or gaining weight for that matter?
Well, I was super thin when I was a teenager growing up. And then first pregnancy is when I gained the weight. And pretty much following after having my daughter, I got pregnant again soon after that. So I really didn't even have a chance to lose that pregnancy weight. With my second daughter, I was able to drop the weight 50, 60 pounds within just a few months. I was in the gym a lot. I'd focused on my food, was tracking everything, extremely healthy. But I was also in a very toxic relationship at the time. And that was also pushing me to not be healthy. I started doing it in the unhealthy way. I was not eating right because of the stress in the relationship. So then that relationship ended. I got healthy again, started doing it the right way. Then soon after that, got into a new relationship, got pregnant again. And with this pregnancy, my mindset was, I'll just drop the weight like that again, like I did with my second daughter, which hasn't been the case. My mindset hasn't been right. Physically, I haven't been active. Mentally, I haven't been in the place where I should be. So it's been very difficult, this pregnancy, coming from my last, where I really was motivated and had a reason, in my mind to lose the weight again. But now it's just kind of been a constant issue. Like you said, yo-yo, back and forth, back and forth. Am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? Put it off. Then I keep finding excuses as to why I'm not going to make that commitment.
So true that we absolutely, it's funny how you said that you got into this relationship and then you weren't able to lose the weight because of the struggles that you were having inside of the relationship. And that just brings me to, all of the different areas of our life. If they're not balanced or if they're unbalanced, then it seems like the food is one thing that is going to have us feel better, because it's one thing.
There.
It's always there. It's your friend. It's never going to say anything back. You feel better after it's done. Who doesn't go to the store and get a pint of Ben and Jerry's or whatever your kind of ice cream is the favorite to have you feel better?
Right.
It's there for us after breakup. It's there for us when we're celebrating. It's, just that go-to thing. So when you're feeling alone or you're not, and then it just kind of goes overindulgent over there. And then all of a sudden you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, what just happened? Why did that just happen? It's kind of funny because the pictures that I'm going to post on this specific podcast, it was 4 years ago that I moved here to North Carolina. And at that time, I was at the weight that I'm currently at right now. And so within 2 years of being here, I had lost all the weight. And I actually was competing. My body was very muscular. I was very lean. My body fat, I think, was at like 14%. And I thought I had made it. I had arrived. And, at that time I arrived here, I'd gotten out of a relationship and I started to really focus on myself. And my life became balanced. I was, taking care of myself. I was honoring my word. I was following through with my commitments. I was tracking my food. And then once I felt like I had finally made it where I needed to go, then it was all out the window. And not to mention, I got into another relationship. And so slowly over time, I stopped honoring the commitments or the things that I promised to myself that I was going to do. And I made exceptions. Oh, maybe just this once. And eventually, over time, I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Right. I catch myself doing that a lot with having kids, 3 kids, 5, 4, and 1. So it's very easy for me to use that as an excuse. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, the kids need to go to bed. Oh, they have school tomorrow. Oh, we have to make dinner. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, he's cranky. I have so many excuses that I make. And I've pretty much began to use that as pretty much my clutch, or your crutch, that you just lean on because it's there. You can use it as an excuse.
Exactly. Keyword excuse. Because that's what it is. It's really an excuse. Is it the truth? Well, yeah, it is the truth. But, we can't look outside of ourselves for the answers that it is that we need to fix, or not necessarily fix, or change inside of ourselves.
Right.
Because if we continue to go like this, like there's nothing wrong. You've done nothing wrong. We're just living our life as life comes at us. But to really have our food and what we put into our life and what we have control over is what we give our word to and then keep our word.
Right.
It's about having integrity. So how do you get out of this cycle? What is it that you do?
You find support.
Absolutely.
You just have to make that decision mentally. You have to get there. You have to make the decision what's most important to you.
Exactly. Exactly. So I really feel like it's about being accountable, So by tracking your food, you're now accountable. And so, MyFitnessPal has really good app there that you can go on to and track your food. You don't have to pay for it. It's a free app. Although you can pay for it. I know that they charge I think it's some crazy low number, like maybe $9.99 a month, and you can get the upgraded status of MyFitnessPal. But even if you don't do that and you do the free version, you can still see what your nutrients are. And it's going to make suggestions for you on what it is that you can do to improve your diet. It's going to give you the basic guidelines for proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And you're going to look at the percentages on there, and that's all on the free version of it. And by doing that, if I'm tracking every day on a regular basis and I go to eat that cookie, I don't want to eat the cookie.
But you can visually see it's better.
Exactly.
You can visually see what you're actually
eating
every day.
Yeah. Well, I realized too by doing that, MyFitnessPal, is that I would eat a bunch of stuff and then I would put it in there and like, oh my gosh, that is so many calories. You start to realize that, oh my gosh, I'm eating way too much at a sitting. Like there's no possible way. Like my stomach is the size of a fist. Like there's no possible way that I can eat all of this food and still be hungry, right? But our mind plays that trick on us. So what happens inside of our body is there's this thing, it's called leptin. And so when you overeat and overeat and overeat and leptin helps to tell you when you're not hungry anymore. It becomes broken. When you abuse food, because it's really an abuse of food, we really don't need to overindulge to the points, at least to the point that I am. I don't know about all you.
My leptin's definitely broken.
But and so something funny somebody told me once too is that you can make up, weigh your food, weigh it up, and do you have to go through that, all of that? No. But it's really good to be prepared to have your food in the refrigerator ready to go, because when I'm hungry, I'm like Mama Bear.
Yeah.
I need to eat right now.
Yeah.
And if it's not there, you know what I'm going to grab? I'm going to grab whatever's fast and convenient. And that could be chips. It could be cookies. It could be whatever is in my refrigerator, and Lord knows what's in there. Yeah, so tracking is super. And so the next step would be to be responsible. When you're not making decisions that are according to your goals, then just, here it is. I'm not making this isn't a very good decision for me. And so everything absolutely in moderation, but admitting it is the first thing, tracking it and being accountable to it is the next thing. And then the next time it rolls around to make a different choice.
Right.
For me, it seems like I have to burn it to the ground before I rebuild it again in every area of my life. As a matter of fact, knowing now, I'm in my 50s, I don't have to burn it to the ground. Let's just salvage this thing right now before it gets even more out of control. So then find a support system. Get other people that are around you. I know with the yoga studio, I have people that come in every single day. And I look at them and I know we're all the same inside. Whether you have an issue with eating, or maybe you have an issue with shopping, or it could be drugs and alcohol, you pick it. It could be sex, anything you pick, you can have a problem with. There could be a pattern where there's something that's destructive to you. And not that it's destructive where, oh my gosh, I'm so out of weight, I don't have health problems, knock on wood yet.
Yeah.
But it could lead to that. I know that I feel better when I'm taking care of myself. So once you have that support system in place, just keep going.
And that's the biggest thing to keep going, is having that support. Because on the days where you don't feel like doing it and you don't have that support and someone to hold you accountable, then 90% of the time you're not going to do it, because it's just easier not to when you don't feel like doing it. Because not every day you're going to wake up and be ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
So at least I know I'm not. So having someone that's going to hold you accountable, having a support group, having a group of people that you can count on is definitely the key to doing it, because you won't be able to do a big change like this and be able to stay committed by yourself.
Absolutely. Being accountable and keep going. The rubber hits the road. We get into these things and, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, it could be however long. But sometimes we just look in the mirror and it's like, is all of this really paying off?
Mm-hmm.
Because we live in this world of instant gratification. We want it, we want it, we want it right now.
That's right.
And if it doesn't happen right now, then what the heck am I doing this for?
Mm-hmm.
When the truth of the matter is you're either working on improving or you're dying. You're working on not improving. You're doing things that aren't good for you.
Because it's easy to talk about. It's easy to say you're going to do those things. But the hard part is following through and actually doing it.
Yeah. Integrity is the baseline of it all. Keeping your word, delivering your promises, keeping your commitments, and then taking responsibility when you haven't, and being authentic about it. We walk out into the world and we have these masks that we put on ourselves, and we think that we need to wear them to protect ourselves from whatever it is that has harmed us in the past. And the reality of it is that we're no longer in that space whenever the event occurred in the first place. We have the tools necessary to protect ourselves now, so it shouldn't even actually come into play any longer. So what do you think, Kayla? We got keeping our word, tracking our food, finding a support system, and just keep going.
That's right.
Yeah. And so got to find your why it is that you want to lose weight, why it is that you want to change. And then go into the place of where it is that you're not being honest and clean it all up. Clean it all up. Because all of that stuff plays in the background anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just want to thank you all for joining us today. That was our spiel on yo-yo dieting and what you need to do to take the first step and to change your life. Once again, if you want more information about this topic, you can always contact either of us. The websites for our businesses will be in the notes. You can come and join us at Yoga Divine for a yoga class. We're always talking about new things and how to overcome the things inside of our mind, because all this stuff is connected. This is just our physical life. All of it is connected to our mental, our emotional, our physical, our relationships, everything that we have in our life. So thank you again, and thank you, Kayla, for coming and chatting with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.